Welcome to this series of videos regarding the election on November 2nd this year on the proposed incorporation of Biscayne Gardens. My name is Nancy Hopkins and I have been living in Biscayne Gardens for 35 years. I am working with the Biscayne Gardens Against Incorporation Political Action Committee to bring you these informational videos. This video is entitled Incorporation versus Annexation. The last Miami-Dade County city to be incorporated was Miami Gardens in 2003. Incorporation is when a community leaves Miami-Dade County to establish a new city. In the unincorporated county areas like Biscayne Gardens, the county provides all the services we now get, and all we pay are the county taxes. Government, police, fire, schools, library, garbage pickup, social services, disaster management, and parks management are all provided by Miami-Dade County. Why would anyone want to pay more for the same services? Since 2003, a small group of people have claimed incorporation is preferable to being annexed by a neighboring city, North Miami Beach, or Opa-locka. That is 18 years worth of fear of annexation that has not happened. Biscayne Gardens property is over 50% residential, 25% occupied by transportation, communication, and utility facilities, and less than 4% for commercial and industrial development. Annexation would be costly to any city for no financial gain. The opposition says annexation will come in small pieces, which is possible but not likely. If it was a large section, the residents would get to vote, and it is not financially beneficial to annex small sections of residential property. In fact, after 2003, when the county commissioners considered pushing for annexation or incorporation of unincorporated county areas, North Miami and North Miami Beach researched each city annexing essentially half of Biscayne Gardens. Neither city concluded it was a good idea. Both realized it would not be a positive financial proposition. However, in 2003, the county allowed establishment of the Biscayne Gardens Municipal Advisory Committee to determine if incorporation was advisable. The image of an alligator taking bites out of the map caused enough fear to at least look at what incorporation entails. That was 18 years ago, because there was nothing beneficial from incorporating then, and the same is even more true today. Let's take a look at the report from this MAC that is the basis for the upcoming election on November 2nd. You can do your own research through the link below titled Biscayne Gardens Municipal Advisory Committee. But let's just look at the proposed budget. Okay, first off, the outdated information. I mean, come on. The data they have based the incorporation proposal on is from 2013 and 2014. Revenues and expenditures analysis, 2014. Salaries for government personnel, 2014 estimate. Police Department salaries, expenditures, 2013 estimate. Review of the data by an independent consultant was in 2014. Now let's just focus on the estimated expenditures. Expenditures to build the new city infrastructure based on 2014 numbers are at least 200% too low. The National Association of Home Builders says lumber prices have increased more than 200% since April 2020. Can you imagine the difference between 2020 and 2014? Steel Benchmark and Trading Economics show domestic steel and lumber prices tripling since last year. Out of date information. Obviously missing from the budget is the Oak Grove Park expenses. Park management and funding currently is covered by the county. This will all change if incorporated. The most obvious problem is the Oak Grove Park redevelopment. The operating costs for Oak Grove Park increased substantially after the addition of a community center was developed. No mention is made in the proposed budget on how the $1 million annual cost of one park will be covered. But if you are basing your budget on outdated 2014 information, we should not be surprised a facility recently upgraded is not considered 7 years later. So let's take a look at how are they going to pay for this, okay? Taxes are calculated by a millage rate that is multiplied by how much a property is worth. The higher the millage rate, the higher the taxes. The new city's proposed property tax millage rate of 4 mills is inadequate to operate a city, especially one with no infrastructure. All the surrounding cities bordering Biscayne Gardens have substantially higher tax rates, plus debt service. The last incorporation in the area was Miami Gardens, which started out at 3 mil. Now they are up to almost 8 mil when the debt service is included. And consider this, the 3 cities that could annex any part of Biscayne Gardens, North Miami Beach, North Miami, and Opa-locka, are almost 100 years old with extensive infrastructure. And yet, they have millage rates 3.2 to 5.8 mils higher than the proposed 4 millage rate. What if you went to the bank and said, I want to borrow millions of dollars to build a new city? Then you submit paperwork that is 7 years old. The banker would throw you out of the bank. Guess what? We are the banker. Vote no for incorporation. Vote no. And if the future ends in annexation, I would rather go with an established, almost 100-year-old city than a new city with no infrastructure led by people who use 7-year-old information to plan for that ill-conceived incorporation. And one other thing I need to point out. The 7-year-old plan was pulled out in time to take advantage of the COVID lockdown, to push for a public hearing before the county planning board, the first step in the process. It was a Zoom meeting, and instead of hundreds showing up in person, this Zoom meeting saw over 100 people sign up to speak against the proposed incorporation, but somehow their names were not on the list to speak. It should have ended there. My point, do you want to be led by people who would put their entire neighborhood through the stress and donations required to fight this crazy proposition during a pandemic and push for a vote? Critical now is to get people to vote. Please get involved, spread the word, donate, and vote on November 2nd this year. Join us by signing up for email updates and information on how you can participate in saving our neighborhood, and see our other informational videos. This is a political advertisement approved by and produced at no cost by Nancy Hopkins for Biscayne Gardens Against Incorporation. Thank you very much. Be safe. We can do this.